All right. Let's see here. Going? It says so. Maybe. Oh, there we go. It is working. Perfect. Well, if you can't tell, I'm a little under the weather. Got a head cold. Sounds worse than it is, hopefully, but we'll keep today brief. It's been a busy set of weekends, so I haven't been able to do Friday streams, but this should catch us up a little bit. I have this turn sequence, and I have the start of an actual board game. Look at this. So for today, we're just gonna go through the basics of how this works, what I have so far, and if you guys have ideas or suggestions, just let me know if the music's too loud, anything like that. But sorry, I'll try and keep that down. Without further ado, let's just walk through how the game works. So this is the setup at the start. I'm gonna come up with separate rules that will probably be expanded with a expansion pack for Britain and France. But the primary players would be 3 players: the Austrian player, the Prussian player, and the Russian player. The Russian player will control Sweden at the start, but Sweden doesn't even get a chip in until the 3rd year, I guess, of the war. So Sweden's a minor player. Russia doesn't get anything for a while. So it's an interesting setup. But so how the game will work is you take whatever tokens are meant to go in the bag, put them in the bag, and we follow this turn sequence. So everybody gets to place orders on the battlefield. So you always get a maximum of 4. So the 2 majors get 4, and then Russia and Sweden get 4 between them. So what are we gonna do here? If we were Prussia, so we have one that's off map somewhere down here facing the Ottomans, and that is Lacy. Lacy's army, not huge. Brown's is the biggest right now. It's got a lot of cavalry too. And Brown is right here. Anticipating that Dresden's gonna come under attack, we're gonna try and get Brown at least to Prague. Oh, I guess I should go over what the orders are real quick. Forced march means that an army or force can move 2 spots along a major road. So you see how these roads are straight and darker? That's a major road. These are minor roads. Forced marches, you can move 2 spots, but it has to be along a major road. And you have to move 2. You can't move 1. Recruit lets you get more troops in an army at the cost of devastation on the territory. Forage creates a supply wagon. Fortify and forage also creates devastation. Fortify means if you get attacked while you have a fortify order there and you haven't moved, you get a defensive bonus. March, you get to move 1 space either on a major road or a minor road. Cavalry patrol lets you scout an adjacent army, so you can see how many troops they have. And evade means if you get attacked, your troops can withdraw and only the cavalry will fight. So in this case, if I was Austria and I have 4 orders to place out there, I think I'm gonna put a forced march on Brown because we want to get him to the front. We probably want to get Dawn. Oh, we're probably gonna need to forage somewhere. go at Pilsen. We'll forage there because it's away from the main front, so we can get some supplies to the front. Let's actually recruit. Well, no, let's recruit in Prague. So that will let the garrison of Prague build up. That's 3. We want Lacey. Let's do one more recruit on Lacey and start building up his force. All right, so that would be Austria. While they're doing that, Prussia, I could look at their forces. They got Frederick here and Alt-Dessau in Silesia. So Frederick has good-sized crew. He can just do a regular march order to reach Dresden. That's probably the best bet. You want to take an early lead with Prussia because you don't have a whole lot of time to dilly-dally. You're going to start getting pressured from these. I'm going to forage in Berlin. And let's see. You know, we could just build up some garrisons in Silesia and double team Saxony. That might not be a bad idea. So we're gonna recruit. See, I've done 2 orders already. I got 2 more. Oh, I gotta think about this eventually too, but I'm gonna recruit here and we're gonna forced march and Alt-Dessau into Dresden as well. It has to be a forced march because there's this spot in the middle. 1, 2. All right. Russia is going to... They don't have very strong armies at the start, so they're going to get some recruit. And 1 forage. And then Sweden. Let's get Sweden on the board, so let's give them a march order. Just to threaten the north once they can come in. So that's phase 1. Place your orders. Then you draw the chits from the bag. So in this case, we would shuffle them, right? And then the first 2 are always Prussia. So they'll get 1 Prussian order can be conducted. In this case, they're just going to rush the march order. Get Frederick there. This gets replaced. And then 1 other order is also Prussia. Prussia gets an initial order advantage. They're going to recruit an Oppeln. I don't know how do you pronounce these things. So when you recruit, first you place a devastation order or depletion token next to the city. Depletion will affect attrition later on. That's the first, and then you get to place either 3 infantry, 2 cavalry, or 1 artillery. Now, all these things are different uses, but cavalry cannot participate in siege battles. So, you gotta keep that in mind. Artillery determines how many times you can attack in a siege. So if you have 3 artillery and you're the besieger, you can attack 3 times. But defending artillery negates the attacker's artillery. So if they have 3 artillery and they're attacking you and you're defending in a siege and you have 1 artillery, well, that negates 1 of their artilleries. You can only attack twice. Hopefully that makes sense. We can probably come to that. But for this case, we just need some bodies in the garrison. So we're gonna get 3 infantry down here. Then we're gonna plop them in the garrison, and then that order goes away. All right. So we did this. Fight the battles. All right. And record initiative. The only battle we have is this one siege. It's Frederick versus a single, well, Austrian, but Saxon garrison of Dresden. Excuse me. So how this would work, I'll get more combat dice eventually, but right now we only have Prussia and Austria. Whoa. Roll that again. All right. So there's no all cavalry army, so Prussia will get a +1. -1 in winter, and it's not winter. Late summer. So Prussia gets +1 dice on their attack. It's Frederick's army, so he has 6 infantry, 3 cavalry, but this is a siege, so those don't count, and 2 artillery. So 6, 7, 8, and he gets an extra dice. 1, 2, because of that +1. Oh, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Man, these dice like to roll. Okay. So that's Prussia. And then the defender just has the 1 infantry, so he'll just get 1 dice. No bonus. But Frederick only gets to attack twice, so he's got to get multiple 6s in that time, which is very possible. The defenders are very outnumbered. All right, defenders fire first. So they do a 1, no effect. All right, attackers roll their dice. And just like that, boom, boom, 2 hits. So in this case, the first hit would flip it over to deplete it, and the second hit, remove it. So this goes back to the force pool. And Prussia has captured Dresden. And Frederick's gonna garrison it with 1 infantry. There we go. So that's how a turn works so far. Move supplies or use supplies. We don't have any on the board, so that won't affect this turn. And then we're not in winter, so these are skipped. And then move the end turn. So with that, this gets moved, and now there's this Austrian token in the mix. And that's the gist of the game. So as you go, it adds more complexity. There's some notes I can add here. There we go. So, well, we'll just keep going. Next turn, right? Shuffle that up. You get to replace orders up to 4. So only Prussia has placed orders, so they get to place 2 more. Now let's see. They probably want, we got to keep in mind it's now fall, so next turn is winter. They need somewhere to winter that's not going to suffer attrition. But they also want to bolster this force, or maybe they want to try and do a quick strike on Prague. Let's do a march order. Let's see if we can let's see if we can by winter take Prague and winter there. That'd be nice. That's risky, but and then we got supplies back here. Force march there. We have a garrison here. We get another garrison in Breslau. Yeah, good. Or, I think we're gonna start foraging in preparation for winter. Put it in Magdeburg. All right, there's your 4 orders. All right, go on to step 2, which is start drawing. So once again, it's 2 Prussian, but now there's also 1 Austrian. Now this is interesting. We can march and then do a forage back here. Yeah, I think that's the most efficient. We're gonna march. Right? Okay. Now, Austria, do you want to force march or recruit? Like, decent garrison. I think I would recruit a garrison here. And trust that that would be able to survive. Because you know, Frederick's army is not huge. It's only got 2 cannons, so... yeah, I think that would work. Now, fort battles are only these spaces with the big circle. So this is not going to be a fort battle. You know your troops here are probably going to perish. Let's see. Alright. They did their recruit. They need the devastation. Prague. So that way, even if they do take Prague, there'll be some lack of... or there'll be some attrition. Alright. And then the last Prussian, they're gonna forage. For that, you grab a wagon and a devastation. Alright. Now we go through move supplies or use supplies. Oh, fight battle. Sorry. And they captured a major fort. So they would have gotten one last time. I forgot to do that. That was my bad. So then we just have this one battle. It's very lopsided. So you can always choose to withdraw, but cavalry gets free hits when you withdraw, and Frederick has 3 cavalry, so that would wipe out this troop. So it might as well fight. Roll the dice, see what we get. Alright, they get +1, and they get +1. So each side gets an extra dice. Defenders 2, and Frederick, though, now can use his cavalry. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he'll get 11 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But the defenders go first, so let's see if they can get a 6 and get a hit on some of those attackers. Oh, they do. So when you inflict a hit, they get to choose who takes it. Now, Frederick is hoping to besiege Prague, so he's gonna actually take the hit on his cavalry. Cavalry is very valuable, so you don't always want to do that. And that means he's got 1 less dice. Now he rolls. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, he wiped out that troop. Now this is not a major battle because it's not for a fort, and it's not against an actual army. It's just a garrison. So there's no initiative. So record battles. Not winter yet, so end turn. Both sides get more action. And so this is the basic formula. We'll get through a winter turn, and then I can talk about some of the other things that are going to be added here. But we'll keep it short today. Yeah, let's finish the winter turn first. All right. So to start, we place orders. Same rhythm. So we've got 1, 2, 3 orders out for Austria already. Brown is there. Man, what should Austria do? I think in preparation for winter, should just build up some garrisons, maybe? Because the nice thing is you can pull from these garrisons to add to your army later on, so it's not a bad idea. think this is just like such a road to Vienna that gotta build up a garrison there. Okay. Now at the end of the orders this turn, attrition is gonna happen. So you gotta be careful where you end up. You don't want to necessarily end up on a place with devastation. But oh, and I forgot to move supplies last turn. You can see I'm good at remembering how to play. Fight battles, move supplies. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright. Only bummer about this formula is that Russia doesn't get involved at first. But I have some ideas to get around that, but we'll see. I'll talk about those in a minute. So we got one order here. That's a forced march, a forage. Just those two out. I think Frederick's going to be aggressive. He's going to march on Prague. See if he can seize it. That's faster than he did historically, so that'd be impressive. Let's see. 3. That guy's good. That guy's good. What does Bourbon have? Okay, he's pretty good army-wise. Might be good to garrison Stettin with some infantry, so we're gonna recruit there. Cool, that's 4. Alright, we're gonna shuffle. And let's see. Oh, it's a Prussian turn first, so excuse me. Once again, pardon the sick sounds. Remember, Prussia only has 3 tokens, so they're not going to be able to do all their orders this turn. They want to make sure Frederick has a chance at taking Prague. So they're going to march him as their first order. Alright. And then it's Austria. Excuse me. Now, I think Austria's not going to do their forced march. They could do a recruit. That's a pretty harmless recruit because it's off map. It doesn't build up devastation, so yeah, he's going to get 3 infantry. Wow. There we go. They did their order. Alright, Prussia's turn again. Prussia's gonna recruit here. Got 7 cavalry. Our part is, the more garrisons you fill, the less troops you have to put in armies. Unless you know, pull from the garrisons, which is a historical problem. So it's kind of cool that made it its way through the gameplay, but all right. Next Austrian move is going to be recruit here. They're gonna trust their garrison. We'll put a devastation out first. They're gonna get an artillery piece. Make that harder to besiege. So right now, Austria's strategy is trust your garrison of infantry in Prague. Even if Frederick takes it, you're going to be ready to counterpunch next year. Yeah. In the final Prussian turn. You know what? He might force march to Dresden and prepare to if Frederick doesn't make it. Frederick has to fall back. He's going to be very weak, so might be worth having a backup there. Leave Saxon or Silesia a little open, but worth it. All right, so that's all the orders. We did that. Next we go to fight battles. So we just have the one, Siege of Prague. So in order to do a siege, we have to look at Frederick has. So he's got 5 infantry, 2 artillery, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we can roll the dice. Per initiative, they have 1 initiative. So they get a +1. And that's when Austria outnumbers, which is not the case. So Prussia has a good shot here. All right, so it was cavalry cannot be used in the siege. So 5, 6, 7, 8 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 2. And then there's 4 for the defenders. They have 4 infantry in that garrison. So, it's a siege. So, Prussia will only get 2 attempts. Defenders start. They get 1 hit. Once again, gonna take that on the cavalry. Another cavalry depleted. All right, attackers. Oh. Okay, 1 hit. All right, this is not looking good. It looks like they will probably survive, but we'll see. Prussia could get lucky. All right, now a depleted unit cannot fight, so rolls 3 dice, no hits. I think I was supposed to lose 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. And no hits. So the siege will continue. And whenever it lasts through, it's not decided, you add another devastation. So there's 2 devastation there. That's going to be very worrying for all the people involved in this siege, because that's going to be a brutal attrition, which I think is next. Nope. Fight battles, move supplies. So we're going to move this one step closer, and I don't think anybody else has supplies out there yet. Okay. Move or use. So then is attrition. How attrition works is if you're in a major city, you roll 1 dice. Per devastation in a major city, you roll an additional dice. So in this case, they're in a major city. That's the base 1. There's 2 devastation, so that's 3 dice. The attrition works differently in that it targets depleted units first, and it kills them. So this is for Frederick. No attrition. That's very lucky. All right, and then we need 3 for the Austrians. Their winter attrition, no attrition. Okay, that's lucky. Once you've done attrition, you can move up to 2 devastation where no army is present and 1 where it is. So this one's only gonna get 1 devastation removed. But let's just go through all of Austria's armies real quick. So they'll get 1 dice here. If you're in a minor town, which is these ones without a name, you roll a base 2 dice. So nothing. Next one. Nothing. Okay. Christian's not striking so hard this time. But there, nothing. And there, nothing. So that's the basics of attrition. And then we can remove these where there's no army present. Oops. So So we do that, and then we end turn, so it would go here. Anyway, so that's the basic layout of how the game works. Some additional things, right? Russia starts coming in, Sweden starts coming in, Austria starts catching up to Prussia's token numbers, and then there's some events. Oh, first, the end turn gets added in 1758, so you may not get all of your orders or all of your chits drawn. That adds the level of uncertainty. And then events will start happening. So the Miracle of the House of Brandenburg. When it's drawn, no Russian orders may be activated for the remainder of that year. So it basically stalls out Russia. And then the death of the Tsarina flips the Russian player from attacking Prussia to attacking Austria. Well, they're now allied, and that means Austria then gets control of Sweden. So it's a fun little twist there. If you're the Russian player, it makes up for some of the early game boringness. My thought though is, so the game starts here. You give a fall token to Russia, but then sprinkle in wet orders like march orders they're not able to do until the first year. Then they can build up some of their forces like they're doing something, but they can't actually get on the board yet. It's like they're marching still from Russia. That's my thought to make it a little more engaging for Russia, since they start off map and not really involved. Anyways, this was just a brief concept. My concept for these two is going to be something along the lines of like a betting resource game. It's like a whole separate game, but it affects here, so you can choose to give resources or orders or something to your allies. So for the British, that's the Prussians, or the French can do it to the Austrians, or you can choose to get an army on the board. Each one only has one army, but it could be another front for Prussia to worry about. Anyways, that's the basic thoughts. If you guys have more ideas, questions, comments, let me know. But for now, I think this is where we're gonna call it a day so I can recover.